Heidi ho, my crafty friends. How are you today? I hope you're doing well. So this is a beginner-friendly video for all of my beginner friends and my new beginner subscribers. This is for you, my friends. We are going to make easy peasy tags today. So I know you have heard me talking about gluing book pages together. So basically, I've got a bazillion books sitting over there. So I just take book pages, before I pull the books out of or pages out of the books, and I glue them together, like 3, sometimes 4, depending on the page. And then when they're dry, I pull them out, and I get old book pages that are nice and thick. So now that I've got them that way, I've turned the book pages sideways and I'm cutting them into tag sizes that I like, which is 2.5 inches wide. And this is like a little small one that I'll use. And we're going to create some easy peasy little tags. Now, this one I just did, so it's still a little squishy. But these are nice and firm. Now these I've cut, so we're going to do these. And I've got out lace, my glue stick, and my stapler. You can't get any easier than that. Oh, and you're going to need something to glue on. And if you like to, that one just needs to go to the trash. Let's see. Oh, that one probably does too. So let's see. Do I have another one under here? I do. Ouch. I keep poking my hand with something. Trying to get one that doesn't have a lot of ink on it. Yeah, this one will do. And if you'd like to ink, you can get out some ink and ink the sides. Now, I will also be putting eyelets through mine. So if you like eyelets in your tags, you can put eyelets through them. So I'll be using my eyelets. So before I do anything, and I've just got some laces, things like that. So before I do anything, in my corner rounder. Now, I'm not a big, I'm looking for, that's not the one I want. That one's falling apart. It needs to go in the trash. Things are just falling to pieces on my desk, aren't they? Here we go. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. I need to take that one off and put that one on. Okay. Now, I want... Nope, that's not the one I want. I'm looking for that one. I'm going to use pine cone. To ink up the sides of these because it's a nice earthy brown, and it will do very nicely on these edges. And I can I'm just very lightly going to bring it in to the middle like this, and it kind of picks up any folds or anything like that. Adds a little bit of color. Just a smidgen. And now when I cut my tag shape, of course, I'll have to redo some of those edges, but that's all right. I just want a little bit of color over the words. I don't want it really dark. I just want a little bit. See, just a little bit. It's kind of a reddish brown. It's not really a dark, a really dark, see, to me it looks reddish brown. Now what do I mean by tag shape? I put mine together like this, and I just go like this. I don't worry, I don't worry about them. And then I'll come back and go like that. There. And mine don't even match. So if they don't match, they don't match. And sometimes I don't even do them. I'm just not that worried about having that little tag thing at the top. I just don't even care. You know, so I'll go over the, like that. And again, I'll just lightly go over the top. It just kind of gives it a little bit of color that's going to be underneath. Now see, that one's blank on the back. So I'll definitely make sure that I have a little bit of color on the inside. Maybe not a lot on this one, and I'll show you why. Now see, that one had some kind of paper on it, so I'm probably not going to do anything on it. So this one must have had something else on it. So I'm just going to do the edges on it, nothing else. And the same with this one. This page must have been part of a collage. So I'm not doing anything else on it. I'm just doing the edges. That's it. That's all I'm doing on it. This one, oh, these two also. There. Just like that. I'm not doing anything else. I just want the edges. And actually, this one's pretty much all the way covered, so I might not do anything with it. Okay, so let's get the cover on it. I just want these tags to be easy and simple, you know, something that I can just pop in a journal as I'm, you know, when I'm ready to put it together. Now, I like the bottoms of my tags to be a little rounded, so I just use the smallest, and so I go on and round them like that. And I'll come back any place that's got a little tear or something like that. That'll all be handled in just a minute. Come on, get in there. Yeah, all of a sudden it got real dark outside, like it was going to rain. So I looked on my weather app and it showed this big storm coming. So, you know, I ran outside. I got the one little bird feeder that has, you know, finch food in it, off of the porch. We got literally, I could count them on my deck or on my porch, 3 drops of rain. It was like, sorry guys. So I hung it back up and I came back here. Big bright sunshine. Now that I've sat down and started, it's getting dark again. It was like, oh geez. So I don't know if it's going to rain or not. So if all of a sudden you hear a big crack, you'll know that storm came. There. Okay, so that's done. So let's get these off of here so we're not fighting with all this little stuff. And if we do hear that, you'll hear the boys come running back the hallway. Because storms just scare the heebie-jeebies out of them. All right, so we're done with our corner rounder, so we can put that away. Okay, so the ones that are like these that are covered, they have paper on them. I'm going to put these off to the side for later. I don't want to deal with these right now. Okay, these scissors need to go over here. It's these that are book page that I want to show you right now. So what I want to do with those is I want to cover them with lace. Okay, I want to take a piece of lace and I just want to cover them like that. Easy peasy. So any kind of lace that you have. It can be something simple. Like this came off of, I don't even know what this came off of. Actually, I don't remember. I just want to cover it like this. So I even have lace here in my scrap drawer. I think I might like this piece on here better. Since that's got a little bit of the brown on it. Oh yeah, I like that better. So I think I want to put that piece on there. So let's trim that off the bottom. And I'm just going to use, I think I'm just going to use my glue stick to, I think these scissors have glue on them, so they're not going to work very well. To, all right, come on. To hold this down since it's so light. So I'm going to put that one there. And I want to put that one there. Yeah, that's going to work perfect. So I'm just going to cut right up the middle. Just like that. Okay, so let me get my glue stick here. So I'm just going to use my Scotch glue stick. And I'm just going to run it right over the tag. Okay, I've just run it right over the tag, and while I'm got my glue stick out, I'm going to do the same over here. Okay. Now I'm just going to lay the lace on it. I'm not even going to worry about trimming it. I'm just laying the lace on it. Just like this. Now, I've made something similar to this before. Then I'm just going to take a little piece of crochet on this one. I think I'm going to put that right there. What else we have in here? I think this little piece I'm going to put right here. And that piece right there. Now, I'm going to have to glue this down. I'm just kind of getting it situated right now. And then I think on this piece, I want a button. And on that piece, I still need something. And then that one, I want a button. And then on this one, I need something else. So let's see what we have in here. I think I know what else I want in there. I think I want a piece of... I think I want a piece of this tea-dyed underneath this. Because that has the brown on it. I want that. Oh, we'll come off then. I want this underneath here. Like that. And then, okay, you can go back in there. What else we have in here? Okay, that's all out of there. You go in there. Now these are two different colors of crochet. I don't know if you can see the difference, but I can. Now on here I also want a button. And I think I want that darker one right there. Or do I want this one? Oh, that's got a shank on it. Here, this one. See, it needs to go that way though. That's a nice vintage button, but it doesn't have any thread in it, and I like thread in my buttons. So let's get some thread in those buttons. But before we go any further, I'm going to sit these up here because when I pause, I'm going to trim, I'm going to put some thread in them. Okay, so now for this one and this one. All right. Let's take care of these two. Whoops. Let's see what we're going to do with this one. Now remember, this one's blank on this side, so we could put something a little more decorative on this side if we wanted. Now on this one, I have this piece that fits rather nicely. So that piece could go there, but I also have in here this piece with the flower. Now that piece fits there nicely. We might have to trim it just a little bit, but, oh, no, it fits. And that flower fits on there perfect. I think I want to put this flower on this one. Which way's the front? Huh. I think this might be the front. Yeah, I think this is the front. Okay, so I think I'm going to put that on the front. And I think I'm going to put this piece there. And then here I've got this. This is almost a creamy white, where this is more of a darker color. So I need to trim this off because this is way too long. But I'm going to leave it longer at the top. Now, down here at on this, I want to add a little piece of this. I'm going to have to I have glue on those scissors too. I'm going to use my sewing scissors here. I want to put a piece of this. Now, in this are some of my vintage pieces. Now, I don't want to use any colors, but I want to use some different textures and maybe some different colors. Oh, that would be nice. So let's put these back in here. Let's see how this piece does. I think this piece needs to be on the bottom. Maybe that piece on the bottom. And then this lighter piece on the top. Like that. Do I like that? I don't think I do. I don't think I like these two together. I think I want something smaller. Maybe this piece. Like this. Nope. I don't think I like that either. Let's try this piece. Oh, I think I like that. I like this little piece here. So this is kind of it, you guys, for your for those beginners out there. I want you to just play. I want you to just get it out, and I want you to play. Oh, now there you go. That's just the piece of just a little crocheted piece that I took up. Ah, that's what it needed right there. Perfect. It's just, I just want you to play. I want you to get out any old laces that you have, whether they're from shirts or that you have on spools. And I want you to just play with book page and lace. It's the best way to do it. Now I want that, just like that. Now, I'm not going to glue all of this together. I'm going to staple it. So I'm going to take this into my stapler. And I'm just going to staple the bunch. Just like that. I just stapled it all together. Now I'm going to glue it down. And what that'll do is that little staple prickly piece will be glued back here. Onto the book page. And then you won't be catching your fingers on it. Okay. Now this kind of covers up, most of the ink, but I can still see it just a little bit. Okay, I need to scoot this up a little bit. I still want it sticking out the top. There we go. But because it's stapled, I'm not relying completely on the glue to hold this heavier bunch, because this little crocheted piece right here it's a little heavy. So the staples really helping hold it in place. Now, I'm also going to put something right there. Now, most likely it'll be a button, but I'll get to it. Now, over here, I want to stamp this. Since it doesn't have anything on it, I'm going to stamp it. So I think I'm going to keep it simple. I'm just going to take, let's see. The inside of this stamp, I don't think you guys have ever seen me use. It is my favorite stamp in the world. I'm going to use this side of it right here. This side. And I'm just going to stamp it with my, it's called Old Book Page stamp. And I think it's all the way down here on the bottom. Well, it's somewhere in here. And it's just, there it is, old paper. I'm sorry, it's called old paper. And it's just a really light, there it is. It's just a really light stamp. I mean, you might not even see it on there. But that's all I want on there. I don't want anything dark to kind of take away from it. I just want something light. You know, so it's not completely empty. Now, I'm going over probably more than what I need, but I'm not really sure how far I need to go. Yeah, I think I did get far enough. So let's get this on here. Yeah, see, it's just a really light, just like that. Just a really light color, really light. And that's what it looks like when it's on your stamp. Just a really light color. Now I want to wipe this. And I haven't used this stamp in years, just years. Oops. And I used to use it all the time, but I haven't used it in a long time. Okay, so now I'm going to give it a minute to kind of dry on here. I'm going to put this right on top of it. So I'm not going to see a lot of it. I see part of this little house. I see part of the little house here. Let me see if I can show you. When I put my flower on it, I see part of the little house, the top of the rocker, and I see the top of the tree. Now, if I wanted, I could take my, and I can even move this over if I want, like that. If I want, I could take my, my ink and put it on here and, you know, kind of paint it in a little bit if I want to make it like with my, one of my favorites. Here, I'll show you. You could use, where is it? Not forced moss. Bundled sage, or shabby shutters, or bundled sage. You could use peeled paint, you know, to get a little more color under there if you wanted. But that kind of defeats the purpose of the color that I used. So I don't think I'm going to. Or you could use your watercolor pencils if you wanted. Or something like that if you wanted to add a little bit of muted color underneath it, but I can see it just fine through this background. Or I could even take and just cut out. This is embroidered on. So I could just take and very gently just cut this out because it's not going anywhere if I did. I could just cut this out and put it on there. But I don't want to do that. I want to keep the whole thing. But I want it just like that. Just like that. Okay. So now I'm going to take this. And it's had plenty of time to dry, so I'm not going to smear it. Okay, get off of there. Now, I have to be careful because this glue does have some moisture in it. And, you know, not pilled around in one section. Okay, now put it where I want it and then move on. Okay, get out of there. Okay, there we go. Now, I'm not going to trim it just yet. I'm going to let it dry a little bit because it's so lightweight. I don't want it to pull off. Okay, so I'm going to let it sit off to the side and dry, and then I'll trim it. So I'm going to put this off to the side, and I'm going to pull these back that we just made, and these we can trim and we can glue down and we can add our button. Now, to add our buttons on here, now the glue was wet enough that the cheesecloth attached itself, so that's good. We don't have to deal with the cheesecloth. Now, you know what? I'm not even gonna try those with the glue on them. I'm just going to use my fabric scissors, and I'm going to trim this lace off. Okay. And any place that has come up, you know, not down because I've pulled it up, I am going to just put a little bit of glue underneath it, and that'll hold it down. Now, see that the ink that I used has kind of defined those edges, and I really like that. See, over here, I've pulled it up a little bit. Okay, so now let's take care of our buttons. So to hold the buttons to this and not have to have all the glue build up, I'm going to take, come here you. Okay, I'm trying to get a hold of it. I'm going to take my black embroidery floss. Now, embroidery floss, now if you don't have embroidery floss, just use black thread. If you don't like black, you can use brown. If you don't like brown, use off-white. Use whatever color that you like. That's totally up to you. Now, if I want to keep these neutral, though, I don't think I want to use black. I changed my mind. I do think I want to use the brown, though. So let me get my needle here. Yeah, the needle is the one thing I always tend to lose. There it is right there. Okay. So let me get a hold of my needle. Come here, you. Okay. Now, you know what? I do think I want to put some brown behind one of these too. That would be nice. All right, so let's sew this on here. Now, I'm pretty sure you guys know how to sew a needle on. Or not sew a needle, sew a button on. Good heavens, I can't even talk. I can't talk and I can't thread a needle. This is bad. This is really bad. And I have a needle threader here somewhere. There we go. Good gracious. I couldn't see the hole because of my little fat fingers. Okay. All right. Now, I want to keep that out because I think I might want to put some of that behind one of these. But just in case you've never sewn through lace, can be a little tricky to sew through. You have to make sure that you put a double knot in your thread. And when I'm doing it, you know, there's all kinds of sewing people, the way people sew and put knots in their thread. I always dutifully put a knot in my thread if I'm sewing through lace because it will come out. It will very quickly come out. So before I start on the button, I make sure I'm not tangled. I make sure I have my lace or my crochet or whatever it is. I make sure I have that where I want it. And that's the first thing I anchor. The very first thing. Because, as I've said, this will come through. Now, let me show you. Lace and crochet has little tiny threads in it. If you just go right between those threads, like I just did there, and you sew between them like I just did, see those? That will help you in holding them together, and they won't wiggle around on you. Let me show you again. Okay, so I pulled it up. There's my needle. It's in the back. It's trying really hard to come through. But instead of going around that big thing that goes up the middle, I've just gone right through it. And that's holding that together like that. That's just holding it together. So now I know these aren't going to come apart. Now, if you don't like to sew, that's okay. You can glue these together. You can just take your glue and put a drop of glue there. But I don't mind sewing things like this. You know, I don't mind it. Now, I'm going to take my button. Okay. And I need to figure out the flat side. Remember, the flat side is the best side to put through. And I'm going to come up and I'm going to make sure that the center of my button is covering that very first stitch that I did because I don't want to see that. And then I'm going to make sure I go straight down because I don't want to see those first stitches that I did. I don't want to see them. I don't want to even know they're there. And then I'm going to take out the knot I just put in my thread. There we go. Just like that. And then I'm going to pull it through. And then I'm going to come up. Now, you need to make sure that you're not doing like I just did. See that loop right there? You don't want this loop. You want to make sure that your thread is pulled taut. You don't want that loop. Because apparently I didn't pull that tight. It's not going to hurt anything. And if you can't find it quick enough, don't worry about it. Just let it sit there because it's going to get glued down. Okay, so now I'm going to come up on the other side and down on this side. Okay. Now I'm going to do this crisscross probably 2 or 3 times to make sure that my button is anchored and I have enough thread within these little holes to give me the look that I like, because this is a good size button and I don't want it to look, you know, kind of skimpy. And as I'm pulling it through, I'm making sure I'm pulling it taut each time so that it's nice and snug. Okay, now this is going to be the last time that I go through it. Just like this. Now this is a double, I almost sewed it through my finger. This is a double thread that I have. So I'm going to show you a little trick that I do. And try not to sew my finger. So this is the last time I'm going to go down over here. So I'm going to take it down. Just like that. Okay. That's the last time I'm going to go down with a double thread. And then I'm going to bring it up over here. Ow! I told you I'd try to sew my finger. And I'm going to bring it up over here. Okay. And then I'm going to pull out one of my threads. Or part of my thread. I'm going to pull it out and I'm going to hold it with my finger. I'm going to hold it with my finger like this. I'm just going to pull it out like this. I'm making a loop. And now I'm pulling it down over here. And I'm just not even going to let it go all the way. I'm holding it out. Okay? Now back here, I'm going to tie it off. I'm just taking it underneath the stitches that I did to secure it down. Come here. Come on, needle. And make sure you get it under both threads. Oh dear, what have I done? Now I've got it all twisted. Oh goodness, hold on a second here, guys. I have it all twisted. Hold on a minute. I got it all twisted up here. Hold on just a minute. Okay, I got it untwisted. Okay, now these threads up here, I'm going to cut them. Now I have my 2 threads, and I can tie them in a bow. Now, if you don't like tying them in a bow, or you don't want them in a bow, you don't have to do this. Sometimes I do this, and sometimes I don't. Depends on how much of a hurry I'm in. And there's my bow. Now this one is going to go over here. That's why I wanted the bow. It just gives it a little more, I don't know, texture maybe is the word. I don't know if that's the word I want or not. Now I will take, that's not the one I want. I will take Martha. I had this off earlier today. And now she's a mess. And put a drop of glue right here in the middle to keep it from coming untied. And then I'll take in the back here and put some, because it's going to paper. But because it's such a heavy piece, I'm also going to put a drop of my Fabri-Tac. Right where I want it here as a double security. And I'm going to drop that right there. There. Now I know that that's going to stay put. Okay, now my eyelet will go right up here, and I'm going to let this sit and dry for a minute before I do that. Now this one, oh, let's do this one. Whoops, sticking to that. Now this one, I'm just going to sew through, and I'm not going to worry about all the anything else. I'm just going to sew it through, and then I'm going to be done with it. So I will be right back after I sew this one through. Okay, so all my buttons are on. Now I'm going to go on and put my eyelets in. So 1, 2, 3. So let's go on and get these in. Try not to tear the paper here. Oops. Okay. There we go. Oh, yeah. All right. Nice, easy peasy project for Beginner Monday. Here we go. Now remember, if you don't like eyelets or you don't have eyelets, you can use a stapler. Hold on a second. And staple some ribbon to the top. That looks cute, cute, cute. And something like this with the ribbon hanging off the top, you don't have to do anything to it. Whoops, wrong way. And I'll show you that in just a second with this this one that had, yeah, my hands aren't very strong today, so hold on a second. So when I squeeze my my scrunchie, it takes all my strength. I'll show you what I mean by stapling ribbon. There we go. There we go. There. So there are ones with the lace. So we have 3 lace covered ones. Oh yes, I like those. With the buttons. So I have all the laces glued on. This one, the button is glued on. It had a nice flat bottom to it, so I just glued it on. Now this one, where is it? Here. This one here, we rounded the corners, and honestly, I would just round the top also. Well, what I would do is I would cut the top of the book page so it met the top of the paper. That way I would be able to be quite honest with you, if it was me, and since it is me, since it is me, I just trimmed up the book page so it matched the little piece of paper that had been stuck on it. So now it's exactly the same size. Now, I've rounded the corners, or that's what I'm doing. I'm rounding the corners with this little tiny one right here, this one. So now it looks like this. And I'm going to take this little ink pad, and whatever's left on it, I'm going to hit the areas that I trimmed, just like that. And I'm not going to put an eyelet in this one. I am going to clean my desk off real quick. Just like that. And for this one, you would have options. It would either be do nothing and just use it as a little journaling card. You could cover the back with another piece of paper, and that would even give it a little more stiffness, and you could just tuck it into your journal. Like if you were creating one of the birds, bees, and butterflies journal, this would be perfect, just tucked in a pocket in that journal. Maybe I'll just leave it that way. This one, I would take, this is all black and white. So I would take maybe a piece of lace because I like lace. That's a little bit, not the color I want. This one. This is kind of the color I'm looking for. And fold it like this in a V. Okay. I just folded it in half. And instead of having my edges meet, I just V'd them like that. And then put it in the front. Okay. About a half an inch to an inch down. Take a stapler. If you don't have a stapler, just glue it and staple it down. Now, if you don't like the look of that staple, then cover that with a piece of washi tape, with a button, with anything you have to cover that. Now, on the back, I don't like it when my staples stick through the back because they catch on my hands. So I always take a piece of washi tape. Now, let me get it out here. Now, I'm going to move these lace ones because they're still a little wet. And I don't want them sticking to everything. So I'll just take a piece of my washi tape. And that has, what does that have on it? That's black and white. So I might take my black and white washi tape here. And I might just take a piece of it about the length of this. And because these little things are so small, they're quick and easy to decorate. And they're easy for beginners if you're working with your grandkids. You know, just really quickly to do. Now, you can make them as elaborate as you want, or you can make them as easy as you want, like that little butterfly. Make it as easy as you want. Okay, so I'm going to pull that little piece off. And I'm going to call it a day on that one. That's just something I'm going to stick in a little pocket somewhere. There we go. But I've got that little, it's covered back there. So I know I'm not going to catch my finger on it. And I also know it's not going to pull through. Okay. Now, if I want another piece of it up here, I can always take another piece of it, you know, and tear just a little piece of it off. And maybe put another little piece up here. Like that. Okay. Now, there's that one. Now, this one and this one only have bits and pieces of whatever was happening at the time that I created whatever I created. So they just have bits and pieces left on them, which is okay. You know, if you have that left, then that's okay. Now, I have washi tape stickers. So I might take one of these. Oh, now see, look here. I have this. What is this washi? This is old. This is like the very first washi I bought. But it has butterflies that match that butterfly. So I might take this washi right down the middle. Just like that. All the way up. And because it's got a little bit of color, I think I'm going to wrap it. And I'm going to try to keep it straight. I can't guarantee it's going to stay straight, but now I'm putting the glue on the back. Oh, see, that's the end of it. But right there's a monarch right across the back. And look, perfect. and it's glued down. Now that's the way you use the rest of your washi tape. All gone. That's the way you use it right there. Okay, so there's my washi. Right there. It decorates this page. Now, I can also maybe trim these, round these, but it's not hopeful. This one, I'm going to try and round these edges, but again, that one does okay. Ah, there we go. That one did okay. Now, let's see what we got here. We have more butterflies. Now, I think... No, I don't think I want that. Let's see what we have in here. How about I adjust you a little bit? What we have? Okay, whoops! Showed you my shirt. I'm going to lift you up here a little bit. What's this one? No, that's not what I want. Here, let's maybe put just a little piece of this. It's the yellow that this is on the other side there. Just to add some color. And I'm going to wrap it around. Now, in the middle here, you could always add something too. But now I've got the yellow on both sides. Now you can also add something there if you want in the middle, a bigger butterfly. And I may do that when we're finished here. Alrighty then. So I want to thank you guys for joining me today. Now let me put these away. Oop, hold on. Let me adjust you down, because I don't want to hit you with those. Now let me show you everything we've created here. Let's get some stuff out of our way. Okay, let me show you everything we've created today. Goodness sakes, we have a lot. Now, let me grab my big butterflies here. Let's see if I can get my hands on them. So you could take... There they are. Now, these aren't the ones I wanted, but you could take a big butterfly and put a big butterfly in there if you wanted. So, we've got these here. We've got these here. All right, so that's everything that we have done today. Let me make sure you can see everything. Alrighty. And they're all very easy for beginners. And they're easy to do for, people that are a little more advanced also. Because you can, very easily add the eyelets to them. You can staple the tops to them. You can ink them. You cannot ink them. You can make them, truly, you can make them yours, and you can make them as advanced as you choose. And I want to thank you for joining me today here back in the beginner series on Beginner Monday. And hopefully I'm going to get a couple more videos made here for you for Mondays throughout July. And I hope that you enjoy them. And I want to thank you for joining me today. Here at the Ladybug Journals, and until I see you again, ta-ta for now.